Hey everyone, welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. After years of marriage, my wife Lisa cheated. How I outsmarted her with an epic twist. My life is a complete mess. Right after I got back from work, Lisa, who I've been married to for 12 years, began yelling at me. I was scared of this happening, but I knew it would eventually. To be completely honest, Lisa had every reason to be mad at me. I was having an affair. However, to defend myself, even though I've known about Lisa's unfaithfulness for a long time, it seems like she just found out about mine. When I opened the front door, Lisa yelled at me, calling me a terrible name. From that moment, our conversation only got worse. Even though I could barely make out what she was saying, it was obvious that Lisa had found out about my relationship with another woman and wasn't happy about it. I couldn't find a way to interject or calm the situation, so I just stood there silently, staring at the ground, wondering how to escape if things turned violent. Once Lisa had cooled down a bit, she asked, "So, what do you have to say for yourself? Why shouldn't I just file for divorce?" I replied softly, "First off, I know you've been having an affair for the past 9 years, so I agree maybe we should get a divorce. What's going on?" Lisa was shocked, her face turning pale. I reached into my briefcase and handed Lisa several photos I had brought. They revealed her affair. I wasn't sure how she'd react. Let me clarify, Lisa is very wealthy and could easily use her lawyers against me. However, instead of getting angry, as I anticipated, she dropped the photos and began to cry. Then, with a look of deep pain and sorrow, she turned to me and said, "I don't want to divorce you, I love you." She then hurried to our bedroom. Her response left me stunned and even more puzzled than usual. Lisa is the most beautiful woman I've ever known. I never imagined, not even in my wildest dreams, that we'd end up together. When we did get married, I expected Lisa to grow tired of our relationship. There was this funny thing about Lisa's family being super rich and insisting on a printer. Naturally, I agreed, but there was one clause that almost made me walk out. Lisa wanted it in writing that we wouldn't have any kids. After some thinking, I went along with it. But by the end of this tale, I ended up with 4 children. Can you believe how messed up my life is? Let me give you some background. Lisa Gravo is my wife, and I'm David Todman. She didn't take my last name because her family runs a top-notch perfume company, Gravo Scent, and her name is a big deal in that world since she's a part owner. It made sense for her to stick with her maiden name. I wasn't thrilled at first, but it's worked out okay over the years because we kept our own last names. A lot of folks don't even realize we're married, which gives me some privacy. I wasn't kidding when I said at the start of this story that I couldn't believe Lisa chose me. She's drop-dead gorgeous, always has been. Lisa's tall, almost 6 feet, with long black hair and stunning blue eyes. She's got the body of a model with slightly bigger breasts. Actually, she did some modeling when she was younger. I'm not too shabby myself, but I'm no movie star. I'm a bit over 6 feet with sandy hair, and I try to stay fit. I met Lisa at a party hosted by my college roommate and his wife in the Hamptons. He was a successful commodities trader, and his wife, Beth. When I was introduced to Lisa, I was really impressed. Like every other guy in the room, all the single guys, and even some who were married, were captivated by her. But she was way above my league, so I started chatting with other single women at the party. A friend once advised me to stick to dating girls in my league or maybe even lower leagues to avoid wasting time on someone who's not interested. It might sound like a cowardly dating strategy, and I don't completely follow it, but I do have my own version. I categorize women based on whether I think they're out of my league or not. Why bother pursuing someone who will reject me anyway? I like to keep it real. Unless there's a girl who's clearly out of my league but known to be easy, then I might give it a shot. But that night Lisa seemed to be constantly near me. At first I thought it was just coincidence, but after a few times it was obvious she was into me. It was flattering but also uncomfortable. I figured she was just slumming it, and when she got bored she'd move on. I wasn't keen on being someone's project for the month. Maybe that was her plan, but I didn't let it get that far. Yet after that party, Lisa kept pursuing me. I'm not bad looking, but why would Lisa Gravo be interested in me? I'm just a software salesman. Don't get me wrong, I'm good at what I do. After 4 years with the same company, I was one of the senior sales directors, making a decent mid-five-figure salary. But compared to Lisa's $40 million a year salary without bonuses, I felt like she was just toying with me. Maybe my lack of interest motivated Lisa, but eventually she convinced me. It took her 4 weeks to persuade me to go on a date with her. 6 months passed before we slept together, and a little over a year before we tied the knot. Our wedding was ridiculously extravagant. There were 600 guests, and rumor has it that it cost about $6 million. But to one of the Gravo heirs, that's just a drop in the bucket. Naturally, her family insisted on a prenuptial agreement. I know it was hard for Lisa to ask me, but I didn't mind. I understood why it was necessary, and besides I made a decent salary myself, so I wasn't interested in her money. When I agreed to sign, Lisa was thrilled. She explained that her family would disown her if she married me without it, but she made it clear that she was going to marry me no matter what. Still, I couldn't help but wonder how long the marriage would last. According to the prenup, if we divorced before 3 years, I'd only get $500,000. I was shocked. I had never heard anyone say only $500,000 before, but it got even better. For every year we stayed married after 3 years, I'd receive another $500,000, or a share based on the percentage of the year we were married in case of divorce. Neither of us could claim the other's assets, but the best part was knowing that I got to be with the most beautiful woman in the world. And if things went south, of course the prenup also stated that we both agreed not to have children. Although I eventually accepted that condition, Lisa's parents weren't happy about it. But Lisa wasn't close to her parents. She claimed they favored her brothers and that they only saw each other during board meetings. Besides, she had already fought with them about having children years ago. It's no surprise we didn't see much of them over the years, and when they did visit, it was uncomfortable, especially for me because they looked down on me. The initial 3 years of our marriage were fantastic. I genuinely felt loved by Lisa during those happy times. However, shortly after our third anniversary, I uncovered Lisa's infidelity. Our marriage was quite unusual. Lisa's job required her to travel extensively. I'd estimate she was away about 1 week out of every month. In the early years, I joined her on her trips whenever possible. There were occasional stretches where she'd be home for 5 or 6 weeks in a row, but those were rare. Yet whenever she returned, our intimacy was intense. My realization of Lisa's affair began with a newspaper photograph. Due to her status, she often appeared in the society pages, so I made a habit of checking that section daily. One day I glanced at a picture from a party in Paris and almost missed it. It took a magnifying glass to confirm my suspicion. In the background of the photo, I saw someone resembling Lisa. With the magnifying glass, I confirmed it was her. Now, you might ask, what's the big deal? It was significant because at that time Lisa was supposed to be in Japan handling business matters for the company. Sure, there could have been various reasons for her being in Paris. Yet I couldn't understand why she'd change her plans without informing me. I needed to learn more. Maybe it was just a last-minute change in her schedule, but I had to investigate. Initially, when we got married, Lisa wanted me to quit my job to travel with her. I declined as I didn't want to rely solely on her financially. Eventually, she stopped asking. Marrying into a family like Lisa's comes with abundant resources, but I avoided using her money because I knew she paid close attention to finances. I made sure to keep my actions discreet. I was dedicated to maintaining my independence and managing my own financial matters without drawing attention to myself. This secrecy allowed me to carry out my investigation and deal with the fallout from Lisa's infidelity without her becoming aware of my intentions. As we tried to navigate through the complexities of our relationship, I faced the ultimate challenge of reconciling my feelings of betrayal with the desire to salvage our marriage. Despite the ongoing tension and the shadow of past actions lingering over us, we both worked hard to address our issues, attend therapy, and rebuild trust. It was a slow and painful process, but it was clear that both of us were committed to making things work, even if it meant adapting to a new, altered reality. The ongoing strain in our relationship was palpable. Lisa made genuine efforts to mend our bond, but her actions had cast a long shadow. Trust was fragile, and our interactions were now laden with undercurrents of doubt. Despite our attempts to rebuild, the emotional scars from the affair were hard to ignore. As we moved forward, we found ourselves adjusting to a new normal. We established new routines and tried to focus on the positive aspects of our relationship. Lisa continued to make changes and express her remorse, and I worked on letting go of past grievances. We both recognized that the road to healing was uneven and fraught with challenges. Over time, the intensity of the past pain lessened, but the experience left an indelible mark. Our marriage, while still intact, was forever changed. We learned to appreciate the resilience of our bond and the importance of confronting and addressing issues head-on. The journey wasn't perfect, but it was a testament to our commitment to facing adversity together. Despite our best efforts to rebuild, the affair had altered the very foundation of our marriage. While Lisa's efforts to make amends were genuine, the dynamic between us had irrevocably changed. We were no longer the couple we once were, and both of us were acutely aware of the adjustments we had to make. Lisa's attempt to rekindle our relationship involved not just apologies, but also concrete actions. She engaged in couples therapy with me, made a conscious effort to be more present, and worked on transparency in her communication. Her behavior was a stark contrast to the secrecy that had characterized her affair, but even with these changes it was clear that trust, once broken, was a delicate thing to rebuild. The therapy sessions were both enlightening and challenging. They helped us to understand each other's perspectives better and to navigate the emotional turbulence that followed Lisa's infidelity. We confronted our own shortcomings and worked on improving our communication and intimacy. These sessions were often difficult, but they provided a structured environment for us to express our feelings and address unresolved issues. In addition to therapy, we made a conscious effort to invest time in activities that brought us joy. We traveled together, engaged in shared hobbies, and spent quality time reconnecting. These efforts, while small, were essential in creating new, positive memories and reinforcing our commitment to each other. However, even as we worked to repair our relationship, certain moments, triggers, or conversations would occasionally bring back the feelings of betrayal and mistrust. It was a constant reminder that while we were making progress, we were still healing from deep wounds. Our marriage evolved into something different from what it had been before. We became more aware of the fragility of trust and the importance of continual effort in a relationship. We learned to navigate the complexities of our bond with greater empathy and understanding. While our love for each other remained, it was now tempered by a newfound appreciation for the challenges we had overcome. As time passed, the rawness of the affair faded into the background, replaced by a more nuanced understanding of our relationship. We acknowledged that while we had come through a storm, our journey was far from over. We faced each day with a commitment to nurture our marriage, adapt to the changes, and embrace the possibility of growth and healing. In the end, our story is one of resilience and transformation. We faced severe trials and emerged with a deeper appreciation for each other and for the complexities of marriage. The road ahead was uncertain, but we chose to navigate it together, knowing that while our marriage might not have returned to its former state, it had evolved into something new, something that, though imperfect, reflected our commitment to each other and to overcoming adversity. Our experience serves as a testament to the enduring strength of relationships and the power of perseverance. Despite the challenges we faced, we continued to move forward with hope, understanding, and a renewed dedication to one another. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.